If I was a normal person, I'd have immediately gotten into my car and driven off into the proverbial sunset. Instead, I was standing near the curb, contemplating whether having a place to stay was worth risking a giant of a man going Silence of the Lambs on me. I doubted I'd taste good with some fava beans and a nice Chianti, and I knew lotion made my skin greasy, so I'd totally be getting the hose again. It wasn't as if giving me his ID meant anything. It could be fake. Or maybe he didn't care if people knew who he was, because he'd be the one riding into the proverbial sunset after he went Dexter on my ass. Think of it like an Airbnb. Only it's free. Minus taking care of the dog roommate. When I thought about it like that, especially given my lack of options, I closed my door and headed back. I pushed the doorbell for 7B and waited, hoping he hadn't changed his mind. A moment later, there was a quiet buzz and click as the door unlocked. Riding up the elevator again, I wasn't filled with the same nervousness I had been earlier. Doubt and panic weren't niggling at me. I wasn't sure whether that was a sign I was making the right choice, or if it meant I was a complete idiot with the instincts of a dead catfish, but I was going with the former. When I reached the 7th floor, I didn't hesitate before stepping off. I turned toward the apartment and jolted, startling to see Killian leaning in his doorway. His back was against the frame, with his body facing me.
"You came back,"
he stated, his face not giving me any clue as to whether he considered that a good thing or not. I held up my cell, giving it a little shake. "I told you my phone was in the car."
"Aye, you did. I just assumed you'd be joining your phone in the car as you drove away."
My eyes narrowed as I studied him. Should I have?
"Nah."
His lips curved up on one side.
"I'm the one leaving my dog and possessions with a lass whose name I don't know. What if you clean me out the second my ass hits the plane seat?"
My shoulders went back as I narrowed my gaze at him. I'd never...
"I'm teasing you."
"Oh, and my name is Gus. Gus Allan."
"Gus?"
He shook his head.
"Odd name for a fla lass."
"A what?"
"A woman,"
he said. "My real name is Augusta, but everyone calls me Gus." I fought the urge to glare over at Blake's door, since he'd always refused to call me Gus. Well, almost everyone.
"Gus it is."
Holding his ID between his index and middle finger, he offered it to me before leaning back. It amazed me that, for such a massive guy, all his movements were deliberate. He was in complete control of his body, and he used that complete control to make sure he never crowded me. Other than when he'd had my back earlier, he'd kept his distance. Even then, he'd never touched me. He'd been closer, yes, but still hadn't grazed me.